All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. As the failure of the Tinubu administration continues to worsen, the frustrations and pains of the citizens remain on the increase. Some of the people who convinced Nigerians to give the APC a chance are now trying to dump the APC camp, saying that the ultimate end of Nigeria under the APC is total destruction. Reverend Father Mbaka came out hours ago to say that Nigeria is at the hunger stage and that it was just the beginning. But Nigerians quickly reminded him of his role in the emergence of Buhari and his refusal to endorse Peter Obi unless Obi dropped some money. So they said, sir, don't try to escape. You are one of them. No one who supported the evil going on in Nigeria today will escape without their own dose of punishment. There is no aspect of the Nigerian system as we speak that has not taken a massive hit by the consequences of Tinubu's failure. About 2 months ago, the Nigerian military said they had technically defeated bandits. By Ononuga and even Tinubu on his first October speech re-echoed this. But for the past 2 weeks, terrorists have been wreaking havoc back to back. Hours ago, bandits who had silenced the governor of Niger State and taken control of Nigeria's biggest military training camp defied the governor of Zamfara State and carried out another heavy operation. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that, news of calamity that could spell international doom for the Tinubu administration broke out. We all know that the Chinese have seized Tinubu's private jets and many diplomatic properties because of the millions of dollars fine imposed on Nigeria after ex-governor of Ogun State, Ibikunle Amosun, beat up Chinese businessmen in Ogun State. Now, something worse has happened to a Chinese businessman in Niger State, and the international consequences of this on the Tinubu regime might be catastrophic. Before I show you details of how bandits defied Zamfara State governor to wreak havoc on the state, and details of the unfortunate incident involving the Chinese businessman in Niger State, which would have international consequences on Tinubu, let me quickly show you these videos. The first video here is one that summarizes the reputation of Nigeria and the Tinubu-led regime. This is a video of Abike Dabiri talking about how she was snubbed by the Nigerian-born UK politician Kemi Badenoch Adegoke, who just became the leader of the opposition and the leader of the UK Conservative Party. See the video.
You see, it depends if she identifies, you see, as the Nigerianness in her, you know. We've reached out to her once or twice without any response. So we don't force people to accept to being Nigerian. So if you appreciate the Nigerianness in you and you want to work with us, we're open to everybody, but we cannot force you to appreciate the Nigerianness in you. You remember the Miss Universe Nigeria in South Africa? She until she got into a little problem with South Africa, and she identified with Nigeria, came to Nigeria, we hosted her, received her warmly. Right. Listen, as long as that blood in you, you're Nigerian. So it's that to Kemi to decide whether she appreciates the Nigerianness in her, whether she wants to work with Nigeria, but we'll be glad to, but we cannot force anybody. There are some who will tell you that, I don't like that, your country. We can't force them, but we work with thousands of millions of Nigerians who are proud to be Nigerian despite the challenges, and we believe that no matter what, we are simply the best in the world. And despite our challenges, we'll get to where we truly belong, the top of the mountain.
Mrs. Abike Dabiri, the chairperson of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, thank you so much for your time.
You heard her. She said they reached out to her, they are willing to work with her, but it all depends on the Nigerianness in her. Listen, Abike Dabiri, it's not about the Nigerianness in Kemi Badenoch. It's about the Nigerianness in you. Are you sincere with Nigeria? Do you want Nigeria to work? The answer is no. And the truth is, that lady Kemi is just one of the numerous Nigerians that are successful all across the world, but will not want to identify with this country because of what you Abike Dabiri, and your colleagues have made this country to become. And the day we eventually have a serious government, Nigerians will be amazed. Nigerians will be shocked at the number of Nigerians that will be flocking back to this country and who would want to work with the government of this country. We have so many talented and very extremely successful Nigerians outside this country, but they will not come because they know that you guys are jokers. And that was why Kemi snubbed you on the 2 or 3 occasions that you reached out to her, because she knows that anything she discusses with you is just a joke. You are not going to go back to implement any policy. It is just propaganda for the cameras, for you to come and say we are now working with Kemi Badenoch. That is just what you want. She knows that you guys are not serious. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Let's take a few tweet reactions. Olamilekan here says she doesn't want to identify with misfortune. She knows what she was doing. If it was Peter Obi that reached out, she would have jumped on the next flight. I am telling you, as funny as it sounds, if it was someone like Obi right there in Aso Rock reaching out to this lady, she would have accepted the invitation with open arms. You think they are fools? They are not. They see everything that is going on in this country. And this tweet here by Dynasty says she does not want to connect with people like you. In a normal country, most of the Nigerian politicians will be in jail forever. That is it. And Sadiq says she refuses to be associated with failure, unstable electricity, insecurity, corruption, and corrupt government officials. Chai. And Ramoto Olani says she says she doesn't want UK to be like Nigeria. No sane person will associate himself with the failed leaders of Nigeria. That is it. And DJ here says keep your Nigerianness with you. Not everyone is excited to associate with forgery, violence, rigging, corruption, chaos, anyhowness. She has moved on. Nigeria should move on too. Now, the next video is one that underscores the foolishness of the few supporters that Tinubu has left. When the ex-minister of education came up with a policy of increasing university entry age to 19, he said those below 19 years, if you like, go and write JAMB, you will not be allowed into the university. We criticized it. We said it was counterproductive. So those who are 17 now will have to go and wait 2 years or what? We criticized the policy because we knew it didn't make sense at all. But some supporters of APC and Tinubu came out to support it because anything that comes from this regime, no matter how preposterous it is, they will support it. But now, the old Minister of Education has been sacked and a new one has been appointed. The new man now has scrapped this same policy that these supporters of APC and Tinubu backed. See the video.
This is the maiden news conference of the newly appointed Ministers of Education after taking their oath of office. The briefing affords the minister the opportunity to unveil his blueprint, and the highlight is the decision to reverse the policy on the 18 years age limit for admission into tertiary institutions.
We will work with JAM and our university to ensure that people that are matriculating into your universities will be around 16 years. So we will not be going forward with the 18 years. We will go back to what we had before, 16 years.
You saw that. What a confused regime. Confusion from top to bottom. It's been 18 months under Tinubu and I still can't find any positive to take from this regime. Only lies and propaganda. And this is how it will continue until they completely run this nation to the ground if the people don't rise up to reject them. Now, let us look at those updates that have become the major talking points in the Nigerian political media space. First is how bandits defied the threats of the governor of Zamfara state to wreak havoc on the state. And next is details of the unfortunate incident involving 10 farmers and a Chinese man in Niger State. Let's start with the update from Zamfara. Look at how the papers reported it. Bandits reportedly attacked Zamfara community, kidnap over 100 villagers. Reporters. Armed bandits on rampage have reportedly attacked Wanke village near Gusau, Zamfara state capital, and kidnapped over 100 villagers, including women, children, and the elderly. It was gathered that among the kidnapped victims was the chief imam of the community, who was reportedly recently freed following a previous kidnapping ordeal and was recovering from a leg injury. In an interview with BBC Hausa Service, a survivor who reportedly described the panic and chaos that gripped the affected community said many residents fled to Gusau, the state capital, for fear of further attacks. The survivor was quoted as saying, "In Sabon Layi, over 50 people were abducted, and in Dogon Hayi, another 50 or more were taken." The survivor added that the exact number of captives remained unclear due to the confusion and mass escape of the villagers who fled for safety. The attackers chased us like prey. They pursued people on motorcycles, tracked down women in their homes, and kidnapped them. Some were caught while trying to escape and were dragged into the bush, the survivor added. The bandits were said to have targeted several villages, including Jira, Ruakusa, Dogon Hayi, and Gidan Kado. They also stole motorcycles, farm produce, and personal belongings such as smartphones, and looted shops for food items. Local residents reportedly alerted officials in Wanke about the attacks, but no official response has been forthcoming. The survivor expressed the despair of the community, which has endured these brutal assaults for nearly 9 years. "There are no animals left here," he said, adding, "When night falls, fear sets in, and it has become too dangerous to stay in these communities overnight." As of the time of filing this report, there has been no official statement from state authorities or the police regarding the attack. Reporters tried to get the comment of the police command in the state, but efforts made to reach the police public relations officer in the state, Yazid Abubakar, failed as his mobile line could not be reached when it was called. You heard that. Now, what was described here is obviously the complete absence of governance in those communities. The communities where this incident took place are no longer under the control of Zamfara state governor. This particular attack is coming after the governor sent out a strong warning to bandits in Zamfara. Now they defied his warnings, carried out attacks, and security forces were nowhere to be found. What a catastrophe. And these same bandits have said that Metawale, the Minister of Defense, Tinubu's Minister of Defense, they say he is their sponsor and nothing has been done. What a shame. Now, let us look at that unfortunate incident that took place in Niger State involving 10 farmers and a Chinese man. This particular one could have international consequences. Look at how the papers reported it. Bandits behead 10 farmers, including Chinese national, in Niger State, cut away heads of victims. Reporters. Bandits have killed at least 10 farmers, including women, and a Chinese national in Wayam and Belu Belu villages in Rafi local government area of Niger State. Residents reported that 6 of the victims were beheaded, with the attackers living with their heads. Many injured residents were taken to a clinic in Kagara, the headquarters of Rafi local government area. Daily Trust reports. The assault occurred around 5 a.m. on Tuesday during the morning prayers. According to Bala Tukur, a resident at Wayam village near Madaka under Kagara town, they mercilessly killed 10 people and injured many. The way they kill us now is very traumatic, I swear. Everybody has fled. He further explained that many people have not been able to harvest 50% of their crops, including maize. Recently, Kukoki villagers were forced to pay 1.5 million naira to harvest their crops, but the bandits returned just days later. Local sources reported an increase in attacks as farmers across Wushishi, Rafi Shiroro, Mariga, and Kontagora LGAs began harvesting. On Friday, bandits invaded Zungeru, Wushishi local government area, moving through homes and a hotel, kidnapping occupants. A Zungeru resident said around 12 a.m. on Saturday, bandits invaded Zungeru town. They took Saidu Yakubu, known as Abacha, and his wife. In a statement, the Commissioner for Homeland Security, Brigadier General Bello Abdullahi Muhammad, acknowledged the incident, saying the Niger State government is very much aware all the security stakeholders have been mobilized. When reporters contacted Wasiu Abiodun, the Niger State Police Public Relations Officer, he said he needed time to confirm the report. You heard that. 10 farmers and a Chinese man, probably on a mission to export agricultural products because this is harvest period. So maybe the Chinese man came in to buy products in farm produce in bulk to export. Now he has been beheaded with 10 other farmers and they left with their heads. First of all, every foreigner doing business in Niger State on hearing this report must have fled the state as we speak. And just a month ago, the UK warned its citizens about traveling to Niger State, Zamfara, and Sokoto states. Now look at what is happening to a Chinese businessman in one of the states they warned about. Insecurity is one of the reasons foreign companies have been fleeing Nigeria. And with this incident, even those who had decided to stay will begin to reconsider their positions. And look at how Nigerians reacted to that unfortunate incident. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. This tweet here by Dr. D. Olawale says, "This is tragic and deeply disturbing. The increasing violence and loss of innocent lives, including foreign nationals, is a clear indication that insecurity remains a massive challenge in the country. It is heartbreaking to see communities and hardworking farmers subjected to this. Very heartbreaking." And Tosin here says, "So we are now owing China money and a life. Okay." Daniel says, "The Chinese take great risks. I wouldn't even go to Niger State as a Nigerian." And this tweet here says, "Until China wages war against Nigeria before Tinubu tells his defense minister to take drastic action on this nonsense those bandits are performing." They say the defense minister is even their sponsor. So it's not about taking actions here. And this tweet here by GCFR says, "It is so weird to rejoice when a tragic thing like this happens. But now, let's see if their paymasters in power will stop the Chinese from demanding action." And CP here says, "I wish the Chinese government can just take over the state self, as Nigerian government no longer values the life of our citizens." And Big Claims here says, "Dear China, please, it is only Niger State in case you people want to test some equipment." Funny one there. And Omoche here says, "Including Chinese nationals, abeg, Chinese people, if una wan invade Nigeria, make una face the north, no be south the thing for happen o." Oh. And Stephen here says, "Chinese government should swing into action immediately, but make them channel their actions to northern Nigeria." Chai. Wow. And the immediate impact of this incident is going to be seen in the area of foreign investments. One thing these foreign investors don't want to hear is that one of them was killed. They don't want to hear that at all. The rest will flee. Those who are familiar with the Niger Delta will tell you the effect that the abduction of foreigners had on oil business many years ago when the occurrence was rampant in that region. The Tinubu regime is just out to destroy everything. And the way these bandits operate, once they do one thing and you don't react they will do it again. And we know that there will be no reaction to this thing they did. And it won't be long before you hear that they have hit another foreigner. And even if this one goes without big actions from the Chinese government, subsequent ones will attract big problems for this Tinubu regime. Finally, breaking: Nigeria's national grid collapses for second time in 3 days. Homes, businesses again plunged into darkness. Reporters: several households in Nigeria have again been plunged into darkness as the national grid collapsed on Thursday for the second time in 3 days. This was announced in a circular issued on Thursday morning by Ikeja Electricity Distribution Company. The company said, "Please be informed that we experienced a system outage today, 07 November 2024, at 11:29 hours, affecting supply within our network. Restoration of supply is ongoing in collaboration with our critical stakeholders," it assured. This is how they will continue to assure, and it will continue to collapse. 2 times in 3 days, they said. This is like I think the fifth or the sixth collapse. I don't know, let's say the fourth collapse within 30 days. And this was what His Excellency Peter Obi was saying. He said, elect competent leaders so that we can get out of these everyday explanations, because this is how it is going to continue as far as the APC is in power. Because they have come to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And if Nigerians desire to have a country, to still have a country in the near future, then they must cast sentiments aside and unite to take their country back from the hands of this evil association called the APC. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news. We una go like. Why? Because of una. Now I dey here, so don't go away.